Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US President Donald Trump has said the government should get a cut from the sale of TikTok's US unit if an American firm buys it.
But we want no security problems with China.
Trump said he made a demand for a substantial portion of the purchase price in a phone call at the weekend with Microsoft's boss. He also warned he will ban the app, which is owned by China's ByteDance, on the 15th of September if there is no deal. Meanwhile, a New York prosecutor seeking Trump's tax returns has said he is investigating reported protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization. Monday's court filing suggests the inquiry is broader than alleged hush money payments made to two women who say they had affairs with Trump. The Supreme Court ruled last month that lawyers could examine the tax returns. Trump has repeatedly dismissed the probe, calling it a witch hunt.
This is a continuation of the worst witch hunt in American history, and there's nothing that I know even about it. I had seen that today, just a little while ago, and I said, what's this all about? I know nothing about it, but it's just a continuation of the witch hunt.
India's daily coronavirus deaths have soared to the world's highest, with 803 deaths and more than 50,000 new cases reported. The country has been steadily opening up since early June after a grinding lockdown that lasted nearly 2 months. And while the coronavirus appeared to slow in those months, it was devastating for the economy, giving it no choice but to open up. Meanwhile, stricter lockdown measures have kicked off in the Philippines, capital of Manila, following an appeal from the medical community for more drastic measures to curb infection rates as the number of virus cases has continued to surge. The new measures will last until August the 18th for Manila and nearby provinces. Latin America has reported more than 5 million confirmed COVID-19 cases, with over 2.75 million infections in Brazil, the world's second most affected country after the United States. Executive Director of the World Health Organization Emergencies Program, Michael Ryan, has said that the situation in Brazil remains very worrying. In Belarus, polling stations have opened in the capital Minsk as first voters were able to cast ballots in the presidential election. Belarus leader Alexander Lukashenko faces his biggest electoral test in years on August the 9th, as public anger has increased over his handling of COVID-19, the economy and human rights. The 65-year-old has accused opponents of working with foreign backers to overthrow him and has jailed two of his main election rivals. The prominent Tanzanian opposition figure Tundu Lissu has been nominated to run for the presidency in October's general elections by his Chadema party. Lissu fled the country after narrowly surviving an assassination attempt in the capital Dodoma in September 2017. He survived the attack with life-changing injuries after receiving treatment in Belgium and returned last week. He will now challenge incumbent President John Magufuli. South Korea's longest spell of monsoon rain in 7 years has caused floods that have forced more than 1,000 people to leave their homes and has killed at least 13 so far. Deaths were reported from landslides and vehicles swept away by waters that disaster officials said inundated almost 6,000 hectares of farmland and flooded parts of key highways and bridges in the capital Seoul. President Moon Jae-in held an emergency meeting due to the combination of the virus and 42 days of monsoon rains. In the US, Hurricane Isaias has blasted ashore in North Carolina, battering coastal areas with heavy rains and winds of up to 140 kilometers an hour. The hurricane has caused flooding and has left thousands of homes without power. Isaias, the 9th named storm of the year, was downgraded to a tropical storm after hitting islands in the Caribbean last week, but was recategorized as a Category 1 hurricane as it approached the Carolinas on Monday. Spain's former king, Juan Carlos, has left the country for an unknown destination weeks after he was linked to an inquiry into alleged corruption. The 82-year-old announced the move on Monday in a letter to his son, Felipe, to whom he handed power 6 years ago. He said he would be available if prosecutors needed to interview him. In June, Spain's Supreme Court opened an investigation into the alleged involvement of Juan Carlos in a high-speed rail contract in Saudi Arabia. And finally, mother and calf whales were seen swimming into a crowd of surfers at a beach off the coast of Sydney's Manly Beach in Australia. This footage shows the mother and calf pair swimming right up to the crowd of surfers, with the mother whale nearly pushing some surfers off their boards in an effort to protect her calf. Southern right whales migrate north to breed before returning to subantarctic latitudes to feed during summer in the southern hemisphere. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.